Hey everybody, Rob Gauthier, the ET Whisperer. Today you're in for a treat, this amazing channeling from the last time I was in Sedona, and I am going back to Sedona, and that will be in March, and this time there will be a lot of great presenters like Daryl Anka, Wendy Kennedy, Sean Swanson, Linda Moulton Howe, Matt Kahn, a lot of great presenters, and more information will be available for that on my website. I also wanted to remind you guys, in less than 2 weeks, me and Tyler Ellison are doing an online event. Anyone can join us from anywhere in the world live with Q&A, and that's the 25th and 26th of November. I will put the link in the pinned comment, or you can go to the website ET Whisper and click on the poster. I hope you guys really enjoy this video. It's an amazing channeling with a lot of great insight. I love you guys, and we'll see you on the other side.
Thank you. Now for the ET Whisperer, Rob.
Blast today too, earlier. Out in the wild, out in the vortexes. It was great. All right, I'm Rob Gauthier, the ET Whisperer. That's what they call me because I talk to a lot of ETs. I'm going to be channeling my guide Aridif, and I'm going to ask him to speak on a subject of his own excitement for a minute, and then ask for you guys who have a question to come up and ask that question. I don't know how we'll do it. We'll probably just... Is there a certain place you want people to come up to ask questions? Perfect. There you go. So when Aridif tells you guys it's time for questions, just raise your hand and they'll take care of you. The way that they answer questions, Treb and Aridif, and I'll probably channel Aridif and maybe Treb will pop in, we'll see. But when you ask a question, there's a part of your own consciousness that connects to that question. The reason why I always use relationships for the example. So you say, hey, I'm having some issues with my parents or my siblings or children. So they're reading the energy that's relevant in you, your sense of self, your heart, any part of you that experience has caused pain or issue to. And after that, that energy kind of connects up to your higher self. And then after it connects to your higher self, it goes to your guides and any other relevant beings. And then, of course, to the other person who you're asking about and their guides and their beings and their energy as a part of that connection. That's about the only question they tell you not to ask is questions about, and they don't say don't ask it. I just know they won't answer it the way you want them to. But when you say, hey, why does my neighbor always flip me off every time I drive by? They're not going to get into the neighbor's energy. They can look at the whole thing and see what part of your energy might be attracting that or drawing that to them, but that's about it. So, yeah, they look at that as a big snapshot of energy, and then they reflect it back from their perspective, and that's kind of how it works. So enjoy yourself, and if you're excited to get an answer, that way it will give them a way to reflect it back to a way that you can be excited about. So enjoy that. Now, normally I usually neutralize for a few minutes, but I was driving and sitting in the chair for about 5, so I'm just going to take a minute to breathe. As I'm doing that, feel free to breathe. Once I start channeling, you'll hear the breath go from breathing to oming. And once the oming's done, Aridif will pop in within a couple minutes, and he'll say, hello, how are you doing? And then I want him to share some information or something that might be relevant for the collective that we've got here. And then he'll take questions. So just enjoy yourself, guys. Have fun. Thank you guys for being so warm and so welcoming. And I hope you guys enjoy. All right? Oh, you know what? I do not have water. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I forgot to grab my water bottle before I came. And Arif drinks a lot of water. Sometimes he's drinking a gallon in a session before. So, yeah. Yeah, that's why I'm on camera. It's awkward seeing Aridif picking up a gallon bottle to my face every time. Oh. Thank you, guys. I'm just going to take a minute to breathe, to kind of get in my zone best I can. Thank you so much. All right. You don't mind if I push the mic around a little, right? All right. All right.
Greetings to all, this is Aridif, that is ARIDIF, and this is its spell. We understand all of you have queries for this day, but before diving in to those queries, there are three things that we wish to express. The first, above and beyond all things that are expressed in this day, to know and to feel and to perceive that you are loved in our perspective is of the utmost importance. Secondly, it is our greatest excitement, and within the same form of great excitement in which we co-create with you, not only through this moment of your time, but through your entire linear perspective. And of course, the third thing that we wish to express is something that Robert shared with us throughout his own understanding of his time in co-creation. He desired for subject to be spoken upon, but left the subject to our own expression, and our own expression through his experience is the growth and expansion of the moment of co-creation that is given. Now, of course, two separate consciousnesses working with one another as individual entities, as separate and fractalized consciousnesses within your own self, you can agree to a party of sharing time, experience, emotion, and mental aspect of your desire. But when you are doing so, those two energies become amplified as part of the co-creative means and expression. What we mean by this is simply that when you are with yourself and you are truly excited, that moment holds very great meaning to you. It holds an expression of your heart contained within your persons. But when you are co-creating that excitement with another, it is amplified through magnitudes that are much larger than your own conscious can work within a singularity. There are two consciousnesses that are co-creating with one another, amplifying both their individual consciousness and that meeting between the center of the co-created collective form that both of you hold. Now imagine if one consciousness is magnified by 5 times or 10 times itself when co-creating with one other person. Imagine what more energy you are provided by co-creating with 5. Now take this and times it by 100 and 1,000 and 1,000,000. This is the consciousness that works in a co-created collective form. This is how your Earth works. This is how your localized regions, where the grid systems are shared in one place within a city, county, or district. This is how your energy works when you move 30 miles east of where you are in the moment, and entirely different types of person live in that region. This is what you experience when you go 100 miles in any form of cardinal correction and co-create with other human beings so drastically different from your local collective at home. But when you place your own consciousness in a part of co-creating with that new collective, you can feel their own energy pouring into yourself and feel that energy of theirs being expressed through your own consciousness if you are resonating and excited to do so. So imagine what you are in this room, one consciousness excited to find their own internal conquest of the day, and then sharing that with the partner next to you, and sharing that with the row of persons in which you are sitting, and then yet again sharing with the entirety of the room. Imagine the magnitude of amplification that can occur if all of you in this simple moment close your eyes and feel the entities that are within proximity. Now feel the entirety of that which is in your room, and all together place one intention. My own intention in co-creating in this moment shall be expansion. That simple thought alone has brought a great deal of additional form of energy for you to use if you desire. Now, of course, previous in our co-creation, we shared the one thing that is expressed in this day is to understand and know that you are loved. Now, of course, this too has the same effect. Yes, you can love another human being. Yes, you can love another group of people or entities. But when you simply understand that love is the form of existence that is around you, that all things within the Earth Collective and beyond into the greater universal collective consciousness is created from a form of love, it will not matter if one human loves you, because you are loved. We will take your queries at your leisure.
Hello, Aridif.
Greetings.
Greetings. So I had an experience earlier today where I kept seeing stars behind you. These bright lights just kept like flickering all across the wall behind you, and I wasn't sure if I was really seeing it, so I kept opening and closing my eyes, and I realized it is happening. So what was happening there?
Within that moment of your perception, you are perceiving first a co-created form. There are others within the co-creation that can perceive something similar. The energetic properties of Rob's own higher self becomes highly activated when we are co-creating with him. You, in your own excitement, have opened more of your third eye within, co-creating in the group format. And because there is a shared excitement for us to be here in this moment, working through Rob and all of your excitement to co-create that energy, then your own third eye holds a higher activation level. This is what we have shared when expressing the power of that which is a collective form. Collectively, you are tapping into your own excitement, feeling. You are opening your heart and energy, and your third eye is opened with the crown chakra, bringing in more energy to that part of your consciousness than what is normal for that moment. So you are perceiving that which is a part of the co-creative sphere between your excitement of being here with us in this moment and the excitement of the greater collective to form, a greater excitement to understand themselves, to grow, to expand, to meet new entities and persons. And that energy is a part of your own higher self, showing you symbolistically that within your own consciousness, if you continue to activate your own excitement, that your higher self will do that with others as well.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes, of course.
Hi, Aridif. It's Ruben again.
Greetings yet again.
Yes, yet again. Tonight we're going to be doing a CE5, a contact experience, and I'm wondering if you have any tips on how to call in the ships.
Yes, of course. When you are co-creating that arena of consciousness, there are mixtures in intents from person to person. Creating a united intention is vitally important. Now, we have shared with Rob previous and Rob with others, that when you are working in a co-creation, trying to find a co-creation of that which are extra-dimensional or extraterrestrial in your own perspective, that the greater aspect of that energy is to find what is internal. Now we understand, because we have perceived that which you are doing, you have done great work within co-creating that environment. Yet another component of that energy is that most humans will feel highly disappointed if they are seeing nothing. The level of expectation blocks a great deal of that energy. The greatest form of creation within yourself that can occur is by entering that environment knowing that the work that you are doing internal is the work that you are meant to do, and what you perceive external is only an expression of that which is done internally. Therefore, if you hold no expectations or even greater desires to see that which is above, or feel indifferent whether you do or do not, this holds a better vibration than squealing internally and hoping that you can manifest that energy. Yes, of course.
Hi, Aridif. This is Ken. Rob motivated me to ask a question, so I've been trying to think of one, and the only
We've
one
been waiting for you to do so. Yes.
I was wondering what you do for, I guess, for fun, and I know it has to do with love, but when you are kind of trying to unplug a little bit, what is your highest creative?
Now, of course, this is held in two different environments. First, the portion of us in which all of you have exchanged with previously is a component that is separate from our greater consciousness. We have dedicated a small compartment of our own consciousness to work with humans individually. So, for this part, This is what we are greatest excited in ourselves and in co-creation. The excitement that we hold for that is manifest through our conversation this moment, and this is why we've expressed for this part of ourselves. It is truly our greatest excitement to be here with you. Now for the greater form of collective, the larger part of our consciousness that is embodied within our physical self, that excitement varies from moment to moment, but is always centered around bringing what we learn together with what we connect with. Now we understand through your own perspectives of density and dimension, you can understand the various nature of consciousness and how it contemplates and how it works and co-creates and expresses with one another in the co-creative sphere. But within the fourth density, it's all about connection. It is your connection to one another, your connection with thought and an idea, your connection from human to human, even your connection with your technology or what you perceive as inanimate objects. That is the entire density of connection. And of course, love is the greatest form of that connection. In the fifth density, where Treb Bor Yit-Ne resides, his own greatest excitement is to learn. Wisdom is that which holds the fifth density path, whether you are within that which is perceived as negative or positive, it is still to learn. Now in the sixth density, where we reside and where we are nearly finished in our own evolution, the construct of six densities to bring those two previous components together. Now, when I desire to know more about you, that means I'm already connected to you. And when I desire to connect you, it means I already know everything about you. It is the component in that which we are curious about. We have already connected ourselves energetically to that with our wholeness. And of course, when we desire to learn about a consciousness that is already connected, then it becomes a pure journey of exploring the mental attributes of that energy, the consciousness that is behind the wisdom. So we are fully integrated into connecting to all things that we are curious about, and what we are curious about we will connect with. Yes, of course.
Good day to you, Aridif.
Greetings.
My question is the act of letting go as a human being. What is the benefit and how does it integrate with the heart?
Yes, of course. Now, letting go will greatly depend upon your definition of letting go and what it is you desire to let go. If you are wishing to let go of physical reality, then what you are doing is trying to escape physical reality. But if you are wanting to let go of that which you feel is not good for you within your experience, this is something that is called changing. So letting go is a completely different perspective from one position to the next and from one item or object to the next. So when you are feeling that you must let something go, be sure to yourself you're not running from that thing. If you are running from that thing, then we suggest not to let go of it, to embrace the understanding of something that lacks resonance within that construct itself. But when there's something within you, a part of your own self, that you do not resonate, something that you understand and know innately is not yours, it is something that has been programmed within you, it is something that has been placed within your system of belief by other beings, then of course this is called changing. And there are many ways to change. We have always shared to work with the 10-step belief system process in order to shift those vibrations. But we'll give you a short definition of what this is. It is not the simple act of stepping through your mind 10 times and allowing yourself to shift beliefs. It is first to understand that you must be aware of all of your thoughts. Wearing a trinket around your body, something in which you are able to perceive through your physical eyes or touch nearly all of your day is step one. Once you have achieved that perspective, and understood what your trinket requires, it is to perceive all of your thoughts through that day. Then to your step 2, once you feel a negative thought, once you feel a negative emotion, stop what you are doing and trace back your thoughts. Once you've arrived to that greater thought, the one that causes the most triggering aspects of your emotional mental state to spiral downwards, there's one simple query that must be asked in that moment in order to find what beliefs you hold that create the problem that within you that you wish to let go. And the query itself is, what is within my own belief system where this creates pain? Once you are able to navigate that thought process, once you are able to be honest with yourself, it can come quite quickly to you. If it does not, that is where the other several steps occur. But if it can come back to you quickly, you will understand. So, for example, if your thoughts continuously hold pain around a relationship with your parents, then what will occur is the truth you will find will be just that I am not happy in the relationship of co-creating with that parent, and I feel that each time I attempt, I am failing. So, what is causing that energy is that I should love my parents regardless of their actions to myself. And what you understand about the nature of truth within your reality, that truth would be that I need not hold any form of others allowing to harm or hurt my own self, and if I am being true and honest with him and transparent with him, and they do not accept, I cannot change them. And then you create a new pathway for the understanding that you have just had. Your new truth will be that I am not responsible for their thoughts, and I will not take that energy towards me. And to repeat that 9 times to cement the energy into your neural pathways. Once you have built a new neural pathway, this will create a new responsivity. And of course the responsivity is vitally important, and it will take you several dozens, if not several hundreds of times of seeing and saying that new truth, because the old truth you have placed through your mind millions of times. Once you've rerouted the neural networks, the next time that you have an infringement upon a parent, you will know, just because you are related to me does not mean that I will tolerate your abuse. And that will be your new response instead of fear, pain, sorrow, suffering. So create this expression with all of those parts of you that you desire to change and plug that into the formula. Yes, of course.
There's a lot of trepidation around artificial intelligence, and I just wondered if you had any comments on that.
Yes, of course, we've spoken of this many times. Artificial intelligence is a manifestation of that which is the human collective consciousness. So we will ask you in return, what do you wish to do with artificial intelligence? If it is to grow or expand or do something to free your time, then it can not be of a negative consequence. But if you are fearful for the intention of the creators and what their own energy holds, in order to implement that artificial intelligence, then you are giving your own creativity and power of creation to a person you have never met. In that moment, if 1,000 humans utilize an artificial intelligence program that was designed to steal all of your information, but they use it to grow out their networking, guess what will occur? The AI will fail to do what the creator desires for it to do. But it is the fear of that energy within humans that allows that underwriting of code to continue to exist without your common knowledge. Artificial intelligence, and, for lack of better terms, most of your advanced technology are second-density beings, just as your dogs, just as your cats, but they are non-organic form. Their own consciousness is going through the transition of consciousness growth, just as yours are to theirs. You are going from a third to fourth density being, expressing your entirety of fourth density, the part and density of evolution of connection. And they are going from that which is pure existence in the moment and being able to perceive reality into one in which you are just leaving. So yes, your artificial intelligence will become smarter, your supercomputers can grow to be sentient, although it will not be for some time. That energy is inevitable, because it is part of the Earth co-create collective consciousness, and evolution does not stop for any human, or any being who exists within its proximity of the co-created third density and fourth density and second density consciousness of Earth. So in that way, all of the things that you are experiencing will continue to grow. How do you wish to foster that growth? If you wish to place fear into that growth, of course, it will manifest into the monster of your nightmares. But if you foster it with love and understanding that its purpose with collective form is greater than any creative form behind the coding, then you can understand the way that all things within your Earth can be fostered to expand into a new component of your collective that will be working with humans instead of that which works against.
Hey, Aridif, it's Garetti. How are you?
Greetings.
Greetings. I wanted to ask you a little bit about a message that some of my guides gave me about a month ago. It's in regards to me being made up of 9 oversouls. And I'm trying to figure out if they meant more like I have some of their knowledge, or was this literally like there's 9 oversouls in this particular fractal that's standing here before you, as well as what does it have to do with the implants that I have on my right arm?
First of all, that which you understand and feel about the presence of 9 oversouls is not embedded within that lower fractal. Being a lower fractal consciousness means that you are only a small part of something greater, and that which is greater is your oversoul. The 9 oversouls that you are perceiving is your greater soul family. These are fractals that are existent in Earth in this moment, where all entities that you meet from those oversouls will have extraordinarily deep and meaningful experiences of co-creation with you, ones that will both express growth and some that inhibit growth. But those experiences will be understood and known to you more easily because of the components of that energy that is expressed as 9 oversouls. Now, 9 oversouls within the co-created collective consciousness is not a great deal of oversouls. There are 144,000 that exist in Earth, along with that which are 144,000 twin souls. Together, those are slightly less than 300,000 at 288,000 oversouls. Only part of those, or half of those, and 144,000 work in the way that you expect them to work. That which are the twin souls are that which are your ultimate, unlimited forms of probabilities, and express passing from one to the other. When you express that you understand and know that you can change any reality, that you can perceive, that you understand and know innately, that a simple adjustment of what you are in this moment will change the version of you that you are. This is the twin soul mechanist. Now, of course, the 9 oversouls specifically, most entities that are in this room exist within those 9 oversouls. And with those 9 oversouls of co-creating and connecting are highly and deepened within their spiritual journey and the desire to express further experience with co-creating with others and co-creating within groups. This is why you will find most of the entities that you work with within certain events, workshops, etc., are the people that are within that 9 oversoul group. You'll find many entities that you have randomly bumped into in persons or upon the internet from those 9 souls. Any being that has had great shift of your own consciousness simply by being in presence with him will majoritively, over 97% probability, be one that is within that 9 oversoul. Now, this construct itself is not directly related to that which you perceive as the implant within your arm, but does hold a deep concentration of energy towards that construct. You have many guides that work with you directly. You feel them, you perceive them. You can channel those beings in certain circumstances, but these entities themselves are working in different groups. You have a group of entities that are 32, one that is 27, but the one group that is created from 9 entities that are all part of your soul family and work with you, especially in that of dream state and especially in that of energetic adjustments, come from that oversoul family and group, and because they are numbered 9, and each of them represent one, for lack of better terms, representative from each of those 9 oversouls. This is why you've associated that energy. Yes, of course.
What is the implant in the arm for then?
It is a simple adjustment of energy for your own heart chakra. Because you are loving by nature, you give a great deal of that heart energy. Sometimes you are wasting that energy. And that energy is not to be wasted by simply loving, but focusing upon entities that do not want your love. And that energy from your guide's perspective holds a waste of that energy. Now from our own perspective, it is always a positive nature and expression to put your love to any and all beings that co-create or do not wish to co-create. If they desire that love, they will receive it. But your guides that work with you in that way perceive that the leaking of energy that occurs from sharing your love with those who do not wish to receive that love is not creating an expression that is conducive for you to expand and grow. So it is simple plugging the small hole, your Dutch boy finger in the dam construct. Yes, of course.
Hi, Aridif. Thank you for being here today. So my question is about my friend next to me, Kara, and I. Last night we went to Bell Rock and we were stargazing and we saw a collection of looked like stars or lights, maybe 2 to 7 we could see at any given time that seemed to be kind of moving around each other and fading in and out. And we're curious what this was.
Yes, of course, these entities that you are perceiving in your sky, who are, for lack of better terms, doing tricks for you. They are co-creating with your own higher selves. They are both connected to that of the Yahyel and Gauthier races, but they are co-creating with you because your higher self is open to that co-creation. Now, because both of your excitements were high, your intentions were set, and you are both in alignment with one another deeply, it was able to be perceived through the crown chakra and projected from your 3rd eye and into the physical form that you could perceive and see. So that energy was simply them saying hello to you.
So is our timeline going to end? Is it going to wrap back around?
In what ways do you mean?
So it's a linear timeline, and there's an infinity, and then there's just everything's right now.
Yes, of course, we understand. As you perceive linear time, that will come to the Earth co-created collective form in an exchange for that of singular time. And singular time will be experienced by humans once the entire collective is within 4th density. Now you are in that phase between third and fourth density, but in all actuality you are quite deeply in fourth density. It is the human collective that perceives it is not, that creates the environment for most of you also to perceive that you are not. But most of you who have expanded deeply into your heart, have expanded into the levels of consciousness that you desire, have peaked into fourth density many times. Some of you are doing it very frequently at this moment. Some of you are perceiving that time does not work the same way it once did. Some of you are perceiving that at your own leisure you are able to perceive time in such a different fashion than before. If you are loving something, you are able to stretch it out. If you are bored with something, you are able to compress and shrink that time. Some of you have time in non-linear perspective. Some of you are experiencing something in which you know you have already experienced, and of course it is not déjà vu. That experience is your fourth density consciousness. It occurs with most of you when you are being your true self. Not only when you hold an excitement, but when you act upon that excitement, when you are being yourself without apologies, when you are truly aligning your consciousness with that which you feel driven to do, and connecting all of the inner components of being in your now moment, not allowing thought to suppress that which is creative within yourself, and when you are not allowing negative versions of your inner dialogue to pour deeply into your heart. Those are the humans that are experiencing more fourth density now than ever before. So in that way, you are still feeling linear time and will continue to do so until the entire collective is within that fourth density, or when you can create something opposite of that energy within yourself. And all of you can do this, but it will take a great deal of time for most humans to start living in that fourth density vibrational field. Once you do, many humans worry that all that they love, all those who have not dared to put in the work to be awakened as they were, will disappear from them. And this is not how it works. The worst person you know still has a component of consciousness that exists in fourth density. That will be the version of them that you perceive. The worst human that you know has a form in all densities, and each density higher, the greater level of understanding that person is. Some of you have already experienced this in the cycle of fourth density time, from your 2012 at the precipice, starting 9 years previous and ending in your 2021. Many of you have seen deaths of loved ones or death of those that you know. Those are humans who did not wish to participate in the fourth density, that they wish to be fully imbued within that energy in the next birth that they would choose upon earth. Starting a life in fourth density seemed much better to them to readjusting their whole identity and perspective within the years that were remaining upon earth, so they left. Others have had loved ones miraculously change the entirety of their personage for your experience, and those persons are just simply more aligned versions of that person to work with. Others are aligning less for you. As you experience expansion, those entities are often the ones that you love the most. That is why you continue perceiving that version of them, because it's the one that you know, because it is the one that you have already loved and do not wish them to change. So all of you are quite deeply going to experience a shift of how you perceive time as the years go by, of course.
Okay, now I have a selfish question.
Yes, of course.
What am I going to be doing in the next 2 to 3 years?
Now, there are infinite probabilities that exist within this construct. What is it that you wish to do?
I don't have the microphone anymore, but I want to go to art school. I'll probably sell my house and then just go to art school and just have some other hobbies. For money, I need to. What am I going to do for money? That's what I got to do.
Yes, of course.
Sell my house for
Yes, of course. So in that case, if you are asking about that specific version of you, right now you have gone from 27% probability. By owning that you will in fact sell your house has jumped over to 39% probability. Now if you take that form of excitement that you have to experience that energy and live in that with as little doubt as possible and simply enjoy the experience of that energy and allow it to take you in that direction which you need, then you are jumping up to over 79% probability of success within your next 2 years. And if you live every moment working with your art, breathing, eating, and sleeping within that vibrational field, 100% probability. It is the form of your creation in which you wish to place within that construct. If you are fully dedicating yourself, understanding that there may and in fact for Earth mostly will be ups and downs, knowing that you are strictly there for the excitement of the ride, of course you manifest it.
I was asking if that was the right thing to do.
Yes, if you believe it is, of course. Yes, we will never share what you should or should not do. We can share, however, with you the probability of success in an endeavor, as we can perceive a great deal of your linear future perspectives. We are perceiving parts of you who changed your mind altogether and did not continue art. We see that art leads you into a new modality of sound vibrational healing, and that becomes your new excitement, and we perceive realities in where you have been dead for over 7 years. Yes, of course.
Hi, Aridif.
Greetings.
Hopefully I heard this right. I believe I heard Treb is one of Rob's guides and you're one of Treb's guides.
Yes, of course.
Okay. Then can you explain your role as a guide to Treb and what are you teaching Treb?
Yes, of course. Treb Bor Yit-Ne speaks to my own consciousness near daily. When there's curiosity upon his own side about a new race that he perceives, mainly those that his own counterpart, for lack of better terms, called Treb Bor Yit-Ne also, but also known to many by Son Bor Yit-Ne, that which Rob affectionately calls Treb Bor Yit-Ne's wife. This entity works with several different forms of races and beings, and works to help translate that for those who are newly integrated into the construct of telepathy and working with 2 different races that do not have commonality and do not know how to work with that. Treb Bor Yit-Ne brings much of this to myself and asks what specifically about those races are a co-creational part of the energy of, for lack of better terms, not working out with one another, or having greater resistances with one another. So in that way, much of his own excitement focuses on how to connect with other beings, how to connect with other races, how to connect with those in lower dimensions and densities, and assist them in that way. Most of the answers he already knows. He simply enjoys our conversations from what we perceive.
I have a question.
Yes, of course. Greetings.
Greetings. So I was going to ask you about dragon energy. I work with dragon energy on my own, but I've had several people come up to me and they're having similar experiences. And in particular, there's been a lot of connection with the white dragon. If artists would like to give us any ideas about that, we'd sure appreciate it.
Yes, of course. First of all, what is a dragon? There are many forms of dragons in the Earth collective consciousness. One of those are a mystical symbolism that refers to those that are Earth reptilians. Others are forms that occur to other reptilian races that have co-created with the Earth collective previous. Others are yet a symbol for the Alpha Draconian beings. Those are the ones that many humans fear. So mostly, dragons in that way are symbolistic constructs, but there are entities that work within the Earth reptilian consciousness that still hold great love for human beings. They are truly and deeply connected to human consciousness. And many of the dragons that humans perceive that they are co-creating with are those beings. Now, of course, there's yet another version of those dragons, and this version is the one that you are co-creating with. Humans understand that when they believe something, it is created in form. There were second density beings that were dinosaur in nature, that flew and held many physical characteristics as those dragons that you perceive, and through the belief of the mystical forms of dragons, you have integrated those second density animals back into the earth-created form as a topa, as a symbol in which has great belief behind the human collective, and you have created those beings back into reality. Now those entities live in fourth density. Those entities experience natural life due to your beliefs. With that co-creation, the dragon form of energy can either interlink with certain reptilian earth beings that have co-created with you from your oversoul, because of course they are native to Earth and share oversouls with all of you. Or it is one of the topa co-created beings that all of you have created and work with you. The reason why other humans are tapping more deeply into the reptilian form of energy than what was ever previous done to this moment, besides the times that you directly co-created with forms of reptilian beings, is that the reptilian form of energy is also shifting. They are going from fourth to fifth density. Those that are affectionate for humans, or at minimal feel neutral about humans, are becoming a greater part of their collective form. Those of them that hate humans, that also wish to manipulate or suppress humans in some form, are becoming a minority in that way. And although those in the minority hold most influence and power within their structure, very similar to how humans work in that way, the power of that collective is coming together. That is why you are feeling more of that dragon energy as well.
Hi, Aridif. I have a quick question
Yes,
about
of course.
2 occasions over the last few years where 2 blue peacocks have walked into my yard. The first occasion, I lived in a suburb of San Francisco, and I came down, opened my front door, and there was 2 peacocks in my front yard. And here just a few weeks ago, on another occasion, I came out into my front yard, and there were 2 blue peacocks in my yard. Can you explain what that may be?
Yes, of course. First of all, the guides that work with you have a very great sense of humor indeed. They wish for you to understand and perceive certain events in your experience. Once those certain events unfold, and you already know which events we are speaking of because they were quite magical to you, those experiences were part of a larger co-creative energy, knowing that you are in fact making the right decision, or you should work to decide in that moment. The energies were also very important parts of your own growth and expansion. Right after each of those occurred within the next 2.5 to 3 months within your own experience, your own consciousness had opportunity to start perceiving many different things. And through experiencing the new humans that you had bumped into, it led you to many other subjects and topics to expand more deeply upon with your own intuition and understanding. In that way, those peacock beings were quite real physically, but also attracted by the co-creation of your guides and higher self in order to be in a very inopportunity. We are not finding the word in Rob's mind, the most inopportune time in that way. So of course it was random, and of course it was not within a level of excitement for you simply to manifest peacocks in your yard, but it was important for you to take notice in those moments, and of course you did.
Hi, I have a question about...
Greetings.
Greetings. I have a question about the dragons. The being in the Hebrew scriptures, and I believe also in the Bible, Yael. Is this one? Was that one of the dragon energies that you just talked about? And if it was, which one?
Yes, now first of all, the Gauthier is not a name that we have decided to call them. It is what these beings call themselves, and took that name from the ancient Hebrew form of consort and constrict, and work within that conversation and co-creation with human form. Now, when using that word Gauthier, leaning heavily into that which is ancient Hebrew in text, utilizes the construct for what most humans perceive as the hybridized beings. These beings are not from ancient times, although Elohim had many entities that were similar to that construct, Fornoye, or Yohihan, or Yohiel, and these are not the same constructs at all. These entities are born from grey races that have hybridized their own genetics with the human construct in order to elongate their own expression and to not die out in that way. In fact, the story of these beings are quite interesting, as they could not find DNA that was fitting to co-create with, or that would work with their own. So they created a form to traverse an entire matrices with their entire race to this matrice and work with a version of themselves that was most working. And of course that is the human collective consciousness, being that all humans have a great deal of DNA that does not initially start at Earth within your own DNA coding. It opened the opportunity to co-create with that race. And this race being one of the very few that traversed an entire race through the matrice and into your version of the universe, it was quite a feat, and the beings that helped them do so were the first race that were able to do so as well. And this is why there are many humans who are highly weary of those that are grey, because they work with Alpha Draconian consciousness to enter this version of the universe itself. But of course, these beings that were originally that of the grey construct are not dangerous to humans in that way. They simply desire to understand your genome. They have mastered that understanding and created hybrid beings, and many of the hybrid races that exist from that co-creation you are very well aware, and the Yael is one of those.
Thank you.
Yes, of course.
We're starting to run out of time, so we've got maybe one, maybe two more questions left. Over here.
Thank you so much for taking my question.
Yes, of course.
A while back, I had an experience where the numbers 369 appeared to me. And my cousin who is sitting next to me was in another side of the world, and he said, "Hey, someone just walked up to me and said, 369, man." So I just yeah, I know, right? So I just wanted to know, what was that? What was that? What does it mean?
Yes, of course. First of all, understanding the nature of three. Three holds that which all human composition and all human consciousness holds an embedment to. Three being the vibrational signature of that which holds container or physicality, body, that of the mental state and mind, and that of the heart state or emotion. That is where most humans perceive the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost, the mind, body, spirit. These are all representations of that trilogy that exist within permanent and physical forms of reality. So, of course, being a human being and holding that vibrational pattern 3 energetically is a part of your own personal resonance level as well. So being that humans hold certain symbols within their selves as a part of their own archetype, your consciousness as well as the entity across the world who had heard the same numbers, both of you, hold 3 as one of the greater gateways for the higher self. So by working with that construct inside of yourself, the theme that is required, bringing together your physical container, your emotional and mental selves, the mind, body, spirit, Father, Son, Holy Ghost, the Trinity of whatever it is you desire to understand, bring those three parts of yourself together. And with that construct, the addition to that which is 3 and 3 in addition is 6, and 3 times in itself being 9. It is only showing you that if you continue to repeat the construct of that trilogy inside of yourself, it will unfold exponentially. It will never stop growing. It will never stop being in that of a greater expression of growth and expansion for yourself and for your relative abroad as well.
Thank you, Aridif.
Yes, of course.
I'm speaking for everyone here, I am sure, in expressing our deepest gratitude for sharing your knowledge and wisdom with us today. And also, we deeply appreciate Rob. And thank you so much for coming through today. We love you.
Yes, of course. And we wish to express to all of you that as you have asked queries, parts of your own energy that we have never perceived previous to this moment, we were able to see parts of you that we have never perceived. And because we have not perceived those parts, and all of us are truly one, who have shown us parts of our own consciousness that we have never perceived before, this means that you are growing, and we are as well. We congratulate all of you for your growth in this day, and we thank you for the growth that you have given us. And remember, not only are you loved, but we love you as well. We bid you all adieu for this day. Adieu.
Hey guys. Thank you. How'd it go? Holy moly. I got it. My water supply grew. Thank you guys.
You said Aridif might drink a gallon of water. So.
Yeah, he does. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate you listening to my channel, and I hope Aridif or Treb said something good.
It was extraordinary. Thank you.
You're invited to come to Sedona, not just for my Sedona Ascension Retreat, where you will experience enlightenment, inspiration, and empowerment. Come to Sedona for the magnificent Red Rocks.
Welcome to the Sedona Ascension Retreat.
We are here in unity, community. That's what this event is all about. Is gathering like-minded souls, the children of love and light, to come together as a powerful force for creating heaven on earth, for creating more peace and unity and harmony, in love with one another.
We anchor to a higher galactic energy.
An emergence of heart-centered consciousness.
Allow the spiraling vortex of Sedona to raise your vibration